Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Prasar Bharati. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US makes its first Gaza aid airdrop as mediators to seek truce deal. US official says ceasefire framework in place. UK-owned ship attacked by Houthi sinks off Yemen coast. Yemeni government warns of an environmental catastrophe from the ship's cargo of fertilizer. Trump wins Michigan Republican caucus in dominant show of force. And in tennis, Ugo Humbert wins Dubai title, beat Kazakh Alexander Bublik in summit clash. The US military carried out its first airdrop of aid into Gaza. US officials said that US airdrop used C-130 transport aircraft, which dropped more than 38,000 meals along Gaza's Mediterranean coastline. Other countries, including Jordan and France, have already conducted airdrops of aid into Gaza, where the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says a quarter of the population are one step from famine. Earlier, White House said that the airdrops would be a sustained effort and that Israel supported the measure. Meanwhile, a senior US official said that Israel has broadly accepted a deal for a 6-week Gaza ceasefire, and it is now up to Hamas to agree to release the most vulnerable hostages for the deal to take effect. The Israeli military promised an exhaustive and truthful investigation into the deaths of Palestinians seeking for aid in Gaza this week. IDF spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said that Israel will present its finding from Gaza aid incident, during which more than 100 Palestinians were reported killed and hundreds more wounded while swarming aid trucks in Gaza city.
Following the incident during which dozens of Palestinians were killed during the entrance of aid trucks into the northern Gaza Strip on Thursday morning, we are investigating this incident. We have all the documentation that we need in order to carry out an exhaustive, truthful investigation into the facts of this incident, and we will present our findings. It was a humanitarian operation we were running, and the claim that we deliberately attacked the convoy and deliberately harmed people is completely baseless.
And a ship attacked by Yemen's Houthi rebels has sunk in the Red Sea. The UK-owned Rubimar cargo ship, which was attacked last month, is the first vessel lost since Houthi began targeting commercial shipping. A Yemeni government statement said that the ship sunk on Friday night and also warned of an environmental catastrophe. US military Central Command previously said the ship was carrying more than 41,000 tons of fertilizer when it came under attack. And at least 8 people were killed and 8 others wounded when a Russian drone crashed into an apartment block in Ukraine's southern port city of Odessa on Saturday. Rescue workers pulled 8 bodies out of the rubble and were still searching for more late in the night. According to Zelensky, the drone was a Shahed supplied by Iran. Russia has launched several thousand of these long-range winged drones throughout the war at targets deep inside Ukraine. In his nightly video address on Saturday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said a Russian drone attack that killed 7 people in Odessa could have been avoided if weapons supplies had not been delayed.
The world knows that terror can be opposed. The world has enough missile defense systems to protect against Shahed drones and missiles. Dealing the supply of weapons to Ukraine, missile defense systems to protect our people, leads unfortunately to such losses and to the constant growth of the list of children whose lives Russia takes away.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday easily won the Republican caucuses in Michigan. Trump trounced Nikki Haley, his last remaining rival for the Republican presidential nomination. The former U.S. president also won the Missouri and Idaho Republican caucuses on Saturday. Trump beat Haley in 13 districts, taking part in nominating caucuses, according to the state Republican Party. Overall, Trump won with nearly 98% support, which means 1,575 votes to just 36 for Haley. Trump won the primary convincingly on Tuesday, securing 12 of 16 delegates up for grabs. He took all of Michigan's remaining 39 delegates at stake on Saturday. The former U.S. president also won the Missouri Republican caucus on Saturday, according to Edison Research. Republicans were also holding caucuses in Idaho on Saturday, one of the final contests for Haley to alter the course for the race prior to Super Tuesday on March 5, the biggest day in the primaries when 15 states and one territory will vote. With victories in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, the U.S. Virgin Islands, South Carolina, and now Michigan and Missouri under his belt, Trump is now closer to becoming his party's White House standard bearer and a likely general election rematch with President Joe Biden, a Democrat.
It's about focusing and preparing and being effective in November. There's not a philosophical divide or, an issue divide on those types of things. This is purely on getting the party ready to win in November. The focus is on beating Joe Biden, electing a president, electing a senator, electing Congress people, and taking back our state house. That's what people are focused on.
Well, Republican frontrunner Donald Trump and his last remaining rival Nikki Haley collided in North Carolina on Saturday ahead of a contest next week that could carry deep implications for the November general election. North Carolina's primary is a part of Super Tuesday's slate for 16 nominating contests that will bring Trump close to clinching the Republican nomination. It also is the only race that day that will be held in a battleground state that could decide the next occupant of the White House. Trump drew a large crowd for his rally on Saturday at a collegium in Greensboro. In his speech to supporters, he called himself a political dissident and focused much of his speech on immigration. Trump edged President Joe Biden in North Carolina in 2020 election by 1.3 percentage points, about 75,000 votes, the closest margin in any of the states that he won.
Not one more innocent American life should be lost to migrant crime. Got to stop it. It's a new category, migrant crime. We call it Biden migrant crime, but frankly, it's too long. So we call it migrant crime. I came up with that name because I come up with a lot of good names, don't I? But it's migrant crime. It's a whole new category of crime, and it's probably going to be more vicious than anything we've seen. On day one of my administration, I will terminate every open border policy of the Biden administration, and we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history because we have no choice. We have no choice.
Fire crews in the Texas Panhandle battled spot fires on Saturday amid an increase in winds that are threatening to reverse progress on the fight against the state's largest wildfire on record. The deadly wildfire, dubbed the Smokehouse Creek Fire, has scorched more than 1 billion acres of land, according to the latest figures from the Texas A&M Forest Service. Only 15% of the fire has been contained. At least 2 people have died and dozens of homes have been torched by fire. Britain's Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt is putting the finishing touches to a budget he'll deliver on Wednesday. He will do a series of interviews later ahead of the budget. DD India's London correspondent Ollie Barrett reports.
When Jeremy Hunt gets to his feet in the House of Commons on Wednesday, he will hope to deliver a budget that can help turn around the Conservatives' ailing polling numbers. They are 20 points behind the opposition Labour Party, according to many polls at the moment, in a year that we know that there will be a general election. He had hoped to try and do that by rolling out significant tax cuts in this budget, but it now looks like that will be more difficult to do than Jeremy Hunt had hoped. Towards the end of last year, it looked like he might have some so-called headroom running into the billions of dollars, which would potentially allow him to significantly cut taxes. But since then, the economy has weakened. It went into a technical recession over the last 2 quarters for which we have data, and interest rates for government debt have also risen, meaning that the government may well have less money to play with when it comes to tax cuts. And at the moment, the tax burden for Britons is higher than it has been for decades post the cost of living crisis and post the COVID-19 economic crisis as well. So less room for manoeuvre perhaps than Jeremy Hunt had hoped. One area that it's being speculated he may look at is so-called non-dom status, that tax status for foreign domiciled nationals who are resident in Britain. He may look at that to try and save some money. As I say, all of this is seen in the context of there being a general election in the UK at some point this year. We don't know exactly when it's going to be. The opposition Labour Party insists that many of the economic problems that the government and the country face at the moment have been created by what they call the economic mismanagement by the Conservative Party. It is a major political event in Britain, though, the budget on Wednesday that will take place in the House of Commons, and Jeremy Hunt's going to be preparing the ground for it over the next few days. Tax cuts is one of the key areas that we're going to be keeping an eye on to see if Jeremy Hunt does feel he has the money to roll them out or not. Ollie Barrett in London, reporting for DD India.
Mexico is gearing up for elections on June 2nd, and the presidential candidates started their campaigns. Mexico's ruling party presidential candidate Claudia Sheinbaum kicked off her campaign for elections with a rally in Mexico City, Zocalo Square. Sheinbaum is running under a coalition led by current President Andrés Manuel López Obrador's leftist Morena party, holds a comfortable 20 percentage point lead over former Senator Xochitl Gálvez, who represent the opposition coalition. Beyond the presidency, Mexican voters will also cast their ballots on June 2nd for lawmakers in both chambers of Congress, 8 governorships, as well as the Mexico City mayoral post and thousands of other local officials. Well, in Iran, final vote counting is underway after millions went to the polls to select lawmakers and members of the Assembly of Experts. The election covered both the 290 seats in a 4-year term parliament and the 8-year terms for the 88-seat Assembly of Experts. Officials have not yet released turnout figures from Saturday's election. According to state media reports, turnout for Iran's parliamentary election appears to have hit an historic low of around 41%. The election followed anti-government protests in 2022-23 that spiraled into some of Iran's worst political turmoil and coincided with growing frustration over the sanctions-hit country's economic troubles. Also in Tunisia, thousands of members of Tunisian General Labour Union gathered in front of the Prime Minister's office in Kasbah Square. The protest was first time in months to defend social dialogue, condemn the restrictions on union rights and denounce increases in prices. Kasbah Square was filled with protesters demanding work, freedoms, national dignity and improvement of the social situation. The UGTT, which has about 1 million members, had been a critical voice after the arrest of activists, businessmen and journalists since President Kais Saied seized most powers in 2021 when he closed parliament. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu led the East African nation in paying last respects to the country's second president, Ali Hassan Mwinyi, who succumbed to lung cancer on February 29, aged 98. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, has sent condolences to the family, government and people of Tanzania following his death. DD India Isaac Lokando has more.
A state funeral was held at Aman Stadium in Zanzibar, where local and foreign leaders honored Mwinyi's contributions to Tanzania. In a social media post, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar joined the numerous voices honouring the statesman, expressing deep sorrow over his passing. Dr. Jaishankar said India has a deep appreciation and respect for his exemplary leadership and contribution in the advancement of India-Tanzania relations. Mwinyi, who became president at 60 in 1985, succeeded Tanzania's founding father, Julius Nyerere. In 1989 and 1993, he visited India, strengthening ties between the two nations. Credited with transitioning Tanzania to a free market economy, Mwinyi introduced multi-party elections, despite many Tanzanians preferring a one-party state. His body was laid to rest in Mwangapwani village in Zanzibar on Saturday, where his son, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, currently serves as president. Isaac Kando in Dar es Salaam, reporting for DD India.
And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. BJP announces first list of its 195 candidates for upcoming Lok Sabha elections. On Wildlife Day 2024, we embark on a journey of exploration and discovery, uniting people and planet through the power of digital innovation. Rain lashes parts of India's capital Delhi on Sunday.
Narendra Modi is such a leader on whom many books have been written in the past few years, but there is always that one X factor which every other author finds different.
So far as corruption is concerned, Mr. Modi has actually assured a revolution. India is saving at least 3 to 4 lakh crores per year.
This is the India's movement. This is the civilizational movement for India, where civilizational awakening is taking place.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And in a calculated maneuver to secure an early advantage in the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections and surpass the significant threshold of 400 seats, the Bharatiya Janata Party has unveiled a list of 195 candidates for 16 states and 2 union territories even before the official announcement of poll dates. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will contest from his sitting Lok Sabha seat Varanasi. This is the third time Prime Minister Modi will be contesting from this seat. Once again, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will contest from Lucknow and Home Minister Amit Shah will fight from Gandhinagar. Union Minister Smriti Irani has been fielded from Amethi once again after defeating sitting MP and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi by about 55,000 votes in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on Saturday attended a book launch event. Jaishankar spoke about India's rising stature at global level. Jaishankar said the number of passports issued in India is rising at substantial rate.
It could even be Indians who travel abroad, and more Indians travel every year. If you look at the number of passports that we issue, these are rising at a very substantial rate. I think last year we issued about 13 million new passports. So the Indians who go out, should also be aware of that, something can happen in the world. And frankly, their families and their near and dear need to know it too.
The Indian pharmaceutical sector witnessed a significant transformation as the government inaugurated 40 greenfield plants dedicated to manufacturing bulk drugs and medical devices. Earlier, these greenfield plants solely relied on imports, and this symbolizes a paradigm shift in the Indian pharmaceutical landscape. India's Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Dr. Mansukh Mandviya, said Inauguration of greenfield plants is tangible result of government's commitment to fostering domestic manufacturing capabilities.
आज मुझे खुशी है, हमने एक साथ में 51 प्लांट PLI स्कीम से बने हुए हैं, 22 बल्क ड्रग के और 39 मेडिकल डिवाइस के। आज इतने प्लांट 51 प्लांट चालू हो चुके हैं, उसका इंटरवेंशन भी मार्केट में देखने मिलता है। दोस्तों, मुझे बताते हुए खुशी है कि 70 ये जो देश में नहीं बनता तो 75,000 करोड़ रुपीस का जो हम इंपोर्ट करते थे, वो आज इंपोर्ट तो बंद हुआ, हम 75,000 करोड़ का एक्सपोर्ट कर पाए हैं। दोस्तों, ये हमारी सफलता।
India's Cooperation Minister Amit Shah launched the National Urban Cooperative Finance and Development Corporation Limited, the umbrella organization for the urban cooperative banks in New Delhi. This initiative aims to modernize and strengthen the urban cooperative banking sector, which will benefit both the banks and their customers. In a world where our planet's wildlife faces unprecedented challenges, the need for innovation in conservation has never been more critical. Welcome to the United Nations World Wildlife Day 2024, where we embark on a journey of exploration and discovery, uniting people and planet through the power of digital innovation. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya reports.
इस वर्ष वर्ल्ड वाइल्डलाइफ डे की थीम में डिजिटल इनोवेशन को सर्वोपरि रखा गया है। आपको ये जानकर खुशी होगी कि हमारे देश के अलग-अलग हिस्सों में वन्य जीवों के संरक्षण के लिए टेक्नोलॉजी का खूब उपयोग हो रहा है।
On 3rd of March every year, the world comes together to celebrate World Wildlife Day, an initiative by the United Nations to shine a spotlight on the incredible diversity of life on our planet. This day serves as a reminder of the intricate connection between humanity and the natural world, urging us to take action to protect our precious wildlife and their habitat. Under the theme of connecting people and planet, exploring digital innovation in wildlife conservation, this year's World Wildlife Day delves into the transformative potential of digital technologies in safeguarding our natural heritage. Advancements in technology from satellite tracking to DNA analysis are revolutionizing the wildlife conservation efforts, providing us with invaluable insights into the lives of endangered species and their ecosystem. Satellite monitor wildlife movements while data aids in understanding migration patterns and land use, bolstering conservation initiatives. World Wildlife Day emphasizes the importance of collective action. It calls upon countries, companies, and individuals to work together towards a just and sustainable future for all living beings. As we celebrate World Wildlife Day 2024, let's harness the potential of digital innovation to preserve our planet's biodiversity for generations to come. Let's make a difference. With camera person Vinod, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
All right, let's take a look at other stories making news today. A tripartite agreement was signed on Saturday between India's central government, state government of Tripura and Indigenous Progressive Regional Alliance known as Tipra Motha in New Delhi. Under the agreement, it was agreed to resolve all issues of indigenous people of Tripura relating to history, land and political rights, economic development, identity, culture and language. Rain lashes parts of India's capital Delhi on Sunday, bringing down the temperature in the city. According to the India Meteorological Department, Delhi's maximum temperature settled at 25.2 degrees Celsius, 2 notches below the season's average. The air quality index of city was also recorded in the moderate category with a reading of 114. Forest Department of Indian state of Maharashtra creates a Guinness Book of World Records by creating a World Bharat Mata from 65,724 saplings in Chandrapur. The milestone has been achieved in the ongoing Tadoba Mahotsav 2024 organized at Chandrapur. As many as 65,724 plants of 26 species were used for creating the word Bharat Mata. And the Liverpool on Saturday beat Nottingham Forest 1-0 to consolidate their place at the top of Premier League. Striker Darwin Núñez came off the bench and glanced home a header in the 9th minute of stoppage time to sink Forest 1-0 and move Liverpool 4 points clear. It was a 6th straight win in all competitions for Liverpool and a 4th in an 11-day span that included an extra-time victory over Chelsea in the English League Cup final last weekend. Meanwhile, second-placed Manchester City will look to restore the gap to Liverpool of 1 point by beating Manchester United at home in the derby on Sunday. In tennis, 5th seed Ugo Humbert produced a near-flawless performance to beat Kazakh Alexander Bublik 6-4, 6-3 to win the Dubai Tennis Championships title on Saturday for his second trophy this season. The Frenchman now holds a 6-0 record in tour-level title matches, with his victory in Dubai his second at ATP 500 level. Left-hander Humbert took out top seed Daniil Medvedev in the semi-final. Earlier this season, Humbert clinched a trophy on home soil in Marseille. The 5th seed was making his debut in Dubai and is the 3rd French champion at the event, joining Jerome Comlan and Fabrice Santoro. Singer-songwriter Ray created history at the 2024 Brit Awards on Saturday. Ray became the first artist to win most awards in a single year with 6 wins. She took home Best Artist Album, Song, New Artist, Pop Act and R&B Act. In the pre-show, she was awarded the Songwriter of the Year.
A lie that R&B doesn't sell in the UK.
Other winners included Za, Dua Lipa, Miley Cyrus. Kylie Minogue was honoured with a Global Icon Award. The ceremony took place at the London O2 Arena. Alright, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.